Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Middle Guy back. And today I want to talk about CNN turning on Gavin Newsom and calling him out on his bullshit. And it's pretty bad when the leftist media starts turning on you. So Gavin Newsom is apparently gearing up to run for president in 2028. So instead of, being a governor of California, he's completely just disregarded his duties and started his own podcast. Well, I haven't watched it because I hate Gavin Newsom and I think he's the biggest piece of shit in the world, definitely in the state of California. Excuse me. But I want to get into this here from CNN.
Tonight, quote, what in God's name is going on with Gavin Newsom? That's a headline, and there's headline after headline asking what sort of question is the country is trying to figure out.
He's trying to get more to the center, be more moderate, because he wants to have a chance to run for president. That's what's happening.
How he went from progressive hero and governor of the most liberal state in the country to
Yeah, he's destroyed the state
interviewing and
with his progressive bullshit.
spending time with MAGA favorites like Steve Bannon and Charlie Kirk on his
How dare he talk to people with opposing views? Unbelievable. That's how bigoted that the left is.
podcast. Tonight, our K-File looked into that, finding that Newsom, well, he's really completely changed his tune on some of the most hot-button issues for Democrats. K-File's Andrew Kaczynski joins me now. And Andrew, just going through some of these, he's got this podcast, and the concept was he wanted to...
Because he has no morals or values or ethics. That's why he's all over the place. Because he doesn't actually give a shit. He cares more about himself and feeding his own narcissism than he actually cares about, having morals and values and ethics.
Talk to the other side, right? He was going to go into the lion's den. And remember back in the day when he did that debate with DeSantis, right? This is consistent.
And DeSantis smoked him.
Yeah. So his first time, though, he goes out.
If you haven't watched that debate, I suggest you look it up and go watch it. It was brutal for Newsom. It was so bad his wife made him end it early.
He backs away from some unpopular progressive policies, even ones that he's championed. So let's talk about the word LatinX. Just 2 weeks ago here.
I just want to say for the record, LatinX is the stupidest shit ever. Spanish already has the language to differentiate between male and female. And Latinx is just dumb. And I haven't met one Latin person that's ever supported this. My wife's Latin. And she thought this was one of the stupidest fucking things she ever heard. And she said if anybody ever called her Latinx, she would probably punch him in the face. But I digress.
Here's what he said.
By the way, not one person ever in my office has ever used the word Latinx.
So can we finally put that to bed?
Well, except for him, as we're going to see here, because he used it multiple times. So again, he caught fucking lying.
Yeah, where did that even
No more Latinx, everybody.
Well, I just didn't even know where it came from. I'm like, what did people...
It came from you lunatic liberal leftists. That's where it came from. When people had too much time on their hand, they just started making shit up. Like gender is fluid. And you are whatever you think you are or say you are. These people are insane.
People talking about...
But there was a person who used Latinx. It was actually a really important person.
Newsflash, it was Gavin Newsom.
It was him,
I don't know about him being important.
right?
Yeah, that's right. And look, these aren't minor shifts. These are progressive issues that Gavin Newsom used to champion until fairly recently, and now
These are lunatic people just making shit up as they go along. This isn't an issue at all. This is pure stupidity.
not just walking away from them. He's sort of acting like they were never legitimate with that clip.
They were never legitimate. Latinx is just some of the stupidest shit that I've ever heard. Just like a man can be a woman because they think they are.
Talking about Latinx in the first place, but let's take Latinx. We did find somebody who used it repeatedly in his office. Let's take a listen.
Latinx is stupid.
I hope we can really paint a picture in terms of our consciousness of how impactful this has been on the Latinx community. The Latinx and black communities. You've got politicians that are banning not assault rifles, but the word Latinx. They're not even serious.
You can't define an assault rifle, remember.
And look, Aaron, those aren't the only times that we found that he used it. He also used it a lot on social media. Look at a few of these right here. You see there, that is a lot of use of Latinx by him.
He's just getting busted in 4K here. What an asshole.
For for somebody who said that nobody in his office had ever used that phrase.
Right. Sort of
No, except for him.
that was put upon him. All right, so he's also rewriting his
Gavin Newsom is such a piece of
Clear bit
shit.
on his stance on
He's a huge liar.
transgender issues, which he had a point of view on his podcast again just 2 weeks ago. Here's where he is now.
Turns out in 2014, years before I was governor, there was a law established the legal principles that allow trans athletes in women's sports. But the issue of fairness is completely legit. It is an issue of fairness, and I think Democrats have lost it.
He's so full of shit, it's not even funny. Like, wow.
No, he didn't always feel that way.
No, that's right. And look, in that statement, he's kind of making it sound like he wasn't involved in this at all. He's like, oh,
Exactly.
2014, years before I was governor. Like, you mean when you were the lieutenant governor?
Exactly.
When you actively defended and praised that law. And one of the videos that we found was actually him praising not just the governor at the time, Jerry Brown, but the California state legislature.
Jerry Brown was horrible too.
For putting that in place at the time. Take a listen to this.
Damn, Gavin. It's getting bad for you, Gavin. Oh, look, he had more hair.
Thank you for what you did on civil rights for students in our schools, transgender rights in this state.
Civil rights. We have civil rights already. Just because you say you're a woman doesn't mean you're a fucking woman.
I mean, okay, so then there's that. Then there's
All I want to say is this is pretty bad when CNN, of all networks, is turning on you like this and calling you out on your bullshit.
transgender issues, right? Transgender policies. The governor referenced your own reporting on Kamala Harris's support for those taxpayer-funded sex change operations for detained migrants, right? Remember here when we had that conversation?
That was the stupidest shit she ever did too, but that's another story for another video.
Okay. It sifted the presidential campaign, right? That moment here. So here he is talking about it.
Trump's for you, she's for they, them.
And
Devastating.
Again, devastating. And,
Devastating.
But let's talk
And
about
she,
Yeah, but you're the same. You do the same shit as Kamala. The same. And now you're saying, oh, that's devastating for her. You're doing the same thing, dude, or you've done the same thing. And now receipts are being pulled showing you do the same thing.
didn't even react to it, which was even more
And let's talk
devastating.
about
So he's referring to the ad that they put out using the clip from when you were here. Only a handful of years ago, though, he agreed with Kamala Harris on this very issue.
Yeah, and it has been the law in California to allow transition care for prisoners since 2017. Gavin Newsom didn't speak out or say anything about it until now.
Exactly.
5 years later when it became a political liability. And in fact, he
Exactly. Because he doesn't have any morals or values or ethics. It's as simple as that.
signed a landmark transgender rights bill for prisoners that affirmed their right to have this type of care. And he approved a state Medicaid expansion that also extended gender-affirming care to undocumented immigrants. So his record on this is...
Yeah. Even letting illegals get free care here that want gender transition surgeries, which is just disgusting and ridiculous that we would be funding some shit like that with our tax dollars. That's how far off the rails this idiot is.
Not matching the rhetoric that he was putting out in that podcast.
All right, so what's he saying tonight about all this?
So we reached out to their spokespeople. They declined to comment on record. They sent us on background comments that said that he's worked to protect transgender youth. They said, quote, LatinX is not a term that is regularly used by the administration, and they did not clarify his comments on transgender prisoners at all, saying, oh.
But that's all. Their statement is a fucking lie because they just have the receipts there for it. So it just shows you how much of a liar he is.
That the governor's comments speak for themselves.
All right. Well, I guess they...
This is how far the Democrat Party has fallen. When CNN is turning on you and pulling out receipts to call out you lies, you know you're in the shit. And that's exactly where the Democrat Party is, in the shit. Keep it up, Dems. This is amazing. The infighting and the crab in the barrel effect that's happening right now, it's glorious to watch. Because your party's shit, your ideology is shit, you have no values, you have no morals, and you have no fucking ethics. And that's why you lost the election, will continue to lose until you get your shit together and actually stand for something besides, I support the current thing. Ridiculous. Thanks for watching, everybody. Give me a like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on X, MiddleGuy7, and I will see everybody in the next one. Thank you.